Hello e-boys and e-girls, in this video we'll be doing a tier list for Yumemizuki Mizuki's weapons. We're just going to be ranking the catalysts in the game based around which of them are going to be the best for her. Also, she has a weird name. Why are there two Mizukis there? Anyways, before we start, we're just going to say what she needs on a weapon. So she's mainly going to be just like an on-field driver for like swirl teams or like reaction teams in general, maybe like aggravate and stuff like that. And she'll be dealing some damage and also, having the Verdescent as an Anemo character. Also, she'll be healing. So she's basically just like an Nemo that can drive on field. We don't really have many of those, and she has some utility. Most of her damage is gonna scale off of her elemental mastery because it's the one that's gonna buff her swirl damage, and her healing is also gonna scale off elemental mastery. Some of her damage is also gonna scale off with attack, but it's kind of whatever. So what she needs on a weapon basically is gonna be elemental mastery first. That's the main thing, though. Pretty much the only like real thing you'd want to go for. Gonna be pretty important. You just want to stack it everywhere, and her weapon is gonna be included. The second thing is probably energy recharge. You'd want some energy recharge, not too much, but probably like at least 30-40%. If you can get it from your weapon, it can be good. And then after that, doesn't really matter as much. Maybe you can get some attack. As I said before, some damage scales off attack, so this can be good if you want to go for it. And then after that, maybe crit rate and crit damage. They're not gonna hurt. Technically she could crit, but they're not. You probably won't really be building them anyways, and it wouldn't matter as much. So if you have them on a weapon, it's cool, but they're not really the stats you'd want to go for. But simply, you just want elemental mastery stat sticks with some utility. That would be good. With that being said, let's move on to catalysts and rank them based around which are going to be the best for her. Alright, so starting off with the magic guide, it's going to be an elemental mastery weapon, 3-star weapon, low base attack. Passive is basically just going to be useless, but it's going to give you some elemental mastery from the substat. It's not too much elemental mastery though. It's just like 180 or something like that. It's still good though, so I'll probably put it at A tier. Those are the type of weapons you want to use on her. We got the Thrill and Tails. It's just HP. It's gone D tier. Otherworldly Story. It's just energy recharge, which can be good, but it's not like the best. I put it like B tier. Emerald Orb. It's also elemental mastery, but it's a very small amount, so I put it like low A tier. I'd say I have to keep it low A tier. Twin Nephrite. It's just crit rate, probably like C tier. And then finally Ember's Bed. It's a medium amount of elemental mastery, so I'd put it just right in between at A tier. Now for the 4-star options, we have the Favonius. It's not really the weapon for her specifically, but it can be good as like a utility weapon for the rest of your team. I put it like low A tier too. The Witset, the elemental mastery increase can be good. The attack increase and the damage bonus increase, not so much. So it's like a coin flip. I guess I'll put it like low B tier. Sacrificial can be good too. It's gonna give you a huge amount of elemental mastery, pretty decent amount, and then it can reset your elemental skill, which can also be good. That's not a bad thing to have. Probably one of the best weapons for her, to be honest, so I'll put it S tier. It can technically give you more energy, and then elemental mastery is basically everything you need. Got the Rural Grimoire. It's just D tier. Solar Pearl, the crit rate, and it can also increase your elemental burst damage. It's not terrible. I'll put it like C tier. Broad type Amber, it's just HP, some energy and healing, but I don't think she needs that. I'll put it like C tier too. Mappa Mare, some small amount of elemental mastery, and then some damage bonus. Probably put a B tier, honestly. Or actually low A tier. It's the same thing as the 3-star weapon. We got the Blackcliff, crit damage and then attack, probably C tier, I would say. Eye Perception is just attack, probably throw like D tier. Why in the Song, it's energy recharge, and then the passive is basically just maybe some attack. Probably like B tier, I would say, just for the energy recharge, low B tier. Frostbearer, just D tier. Dodoco Tails, D tier. Action Ring, it's energy recharge, and then it can be good to buff the rest of your team's damage if you trigger an Electro reaction. If you're playing her in like an Electro team, like Aggravate for example, she can be good in those teams, and this weapon's gonna work pretty decently, I guess, there. So I put it like high B tier. Ulthuan Eye, it's just energy recharge, so I put it like C tier too, I guess. Wandering Even Star, elemental mastery, a decent amount, and then it can give you attack based around your elemental mastery, and you're gonna be building a lot of elemental mastery on her, so this can be good. And then it can also give attack to the rest of your party members based on your elemental mastery, so this can be pretty good. Supportive weapon, elemental mastery, I think it's honestly pretty good, so I'll put it like high A tier. I think it's a pretty decent weapon. Got Fruit Fulfillment, it's just energy recharge. It's gonna lower your attack, give you elemental mastery. She still needs attack, but for her, I think it's still a good trade, so it's not too bad. Just some elemental mastery, energy recharge. I put it at like high B tier too. I think it's decent. Sacrificial Jade is just a crit rate, and then the passive is basically you need to be outfield, which is not really that good. Or probably put it like, I'd say D tier probably, or C tier. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Just don't use it. Flow and Purity is just attack. Passive is just the Bond of Life thingy. Probably D tier. Ballad of the Boundless Blue, some energy recharge, and then it's just gonna increase your normal attacks and charge attacks damage. Probably like low B tier. Ash Graven, Drinking Horn, it's just HP. Probably D tier, I would say. It's kind of useless. Waver and Whirl, it's just a huge amount of energy recharge. You don't really need that much. And then the passive is basically useless. Probably like C tier, I would say high C tier maybe. Actually low B tier, it's just for the energy recharge, like weapons. And then finally, Ring of Yakshay, it's just HP. And it's going to increase your normal attacks damage. Not so good. I put it at like low D tier. Now for the 5-star options, most of them won't really be that good. They still have like the good base attack and stuff like that, which she technically needs, but it's not gonna have a big effect. So we're not really gonna see 5-star weapons like fully dominate, but we're gonna see probably some of them be the best. Skyward Atlas is just attack and then maybe some elemental damage. I'd say it's honestly like a D tier weapon. It doesn't really provide much, especially for her. That's what I was talking about. A lot of what 5-star weapons offer are not really gonna be super good things for her. We got the Last Prayer. It's just crit rate and then some elemental damage bonus. I put it like C tier. That's definitely not the weapon. Memory of Dust is just an attack stat stick. It's gonna give you a huge amount of attack, which you might benefit from, I guess, but it's still not good. I put it like low C tier. Jadefall Splendor HP and then some just damage bonus. Probably like D tier, I would say. D tier, C tier, but you probably shouldn't use it. Everlasting Moonglow is gonna increase your HP, give you some healing bonus, which is good because she heals. The rest of the passive is not really that useful, so probably put it like C tier just for the healing bonus. Jagras Verity, crit damage, and not really the best thing. It can give you some elemental skill damage bonus, which can be good, but it's kind of whatever. I'll put a C tier too. Thousand Floats and Dreams, probably one of the best weapons. It's gonna give you a huge elemental mastery substat, like 250, I think, or maybe more. And then it can give elemental mastery or damage bonus to the rest of your team. Probably damage bonus. You probably won't be playing a role like other Anemos. So this can be good. It's gonna give damage bonus to your team and then give you a huge amount of elemental mastery yourself. There's not really much more you can ask for, so I'll probably put it S tier. It's probably one of the best weapons you can use. Slice Remembrance, it's just crit damage, high base attack, and then the passive is kind of whatever. Probably like C tier maybe. Cashflow Supervision, almost the same thing. I put it like C tier too. We have a lot in C tier. Come with the Eternal Flow, exact same thing. I've just thrown it as C tier. Crane's Echo and Call, it's just a plunging thing. Attack, probably D tier. Surf's Up, same thing with the rest. It's gonna be C tier. Starcaller's Watch, it's a huge amount of elemental mastery. You cannot fully get the passive because you cannot shield with her, but it's still a pretty good weapon. It's gonna give you like what, 350 elemental mastery, which is super good. So honestly, I'll put that S tier, maybe lower S tier. I'd say it's worse than the Nahida's weapon since it's not really gonna buff your team, but it's still a super decent weapon for Mizuki herself. And then finally, her signature weapons, probably one of the biggest stat sticks we've seen in a long time. It's elemental mastery stat stick, but it's a huge stat stick. It's gonna give you like 250 from the substat alone, and then 120 after triggering a swirl, which is a lot, and then an extra like 120. So what is that? It's like 500 elemental mastery in total, which is a huge elemental mastery stat stick. I guess it's gonna be I don't even know if it's gonna be the best weapon, honestly. It's just an elemental mastery stat stick. Personally, I genuinely prefer Nahida's weapon. You can just get elemental mastery from a lot of sources. You don't really need a stat stick of like this size. Maybe other features would probably been better, honestly, in my opinion. So I'd put it generally below Nahida's weapon. I don't think it's gonna be that appealing for you to get it. You can just get elemental mastery from literally everywhere. It's not like a rare stat that you need on your weapon. So yeah, I think it's too much elemental mastery. They probably should have thrown some extra stuff there. I feel like Nahida's weapon, you know, it's gonna give you a good amount of elemental mastery too, but then support, just perfect. So I think it's her best in slot. Her signature weapon, still good too. It's a huge elemental mastery stat stick, but I don't really like it as much. But yeah, either way, you can see she has, you know, decent free-to-play weapons, even like 3-star options. Just basically look for elemental mastery. That's really the type of weapon you're gonna need on her. Other than that, she doesn't really need anything specific. It's not a rare stat, so you're probably good. But yeah, that was the video, guys. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys next video. Peace.